Do you ever wonder why you handle money the way you do? Why you splurge on certain things or avoid budgeting like the plague? The truth is, our money behaviors are often learned, passed down like old family recipes. These money scripts, which are beliefs and habits around money formed in childhood, can hold us back from reaching our financial goals. But the good news is, you can rewrite your financial story. My name is Ryan Nelson, and my wife and I paid off about $160,000 in debt over 8 years while we were raising three kids. So, we all have a different relationship with money. That relationship is shaped by a mix of experiences, values, and learned behaviors. Many of these behaviors stem from something called money scripts. Money scripts are unconscious beliefs about money that are formed throughout your life. And these scripts, often absorbed from our families, from our environments, and yes, the financial industry themselves, can significantly impact our financial decisions. Think about this for a second. Did your parents constantly worry about money? Were you taught that money is scarce or that talking about finances is taboo? These early experiences can create deep seated beliefs that drive your financial habits today. Maybe you learned that you associate spending with happiness. This was a big thing for me. I associated spending with happiness for years, and it led to a ton of impulsive purchasing. Or maybe you were taught that having a good credit score is super important. That's all that's talked about. So I want to dive into just a quick real world example that's just happened recently. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau here in the United States on Tuesday finalized a rule to remove medical debt from consumer credit reports. Now, it's important to understand this isn't removing the debt from what you owe. Basically, what it's doing is it's just the ability for it to appear on your credit report. So, one of the benefits that's being talked about the most by doing this is that it's going to raise people's credit scores by an average of 20 points, which will allow them to qualify. And I mean, if you want to guess what it is, you may be guessing that you're going to qualify for more debt, for car loans, for mortgages. That 20-point increase is going to allow people to borrow more money, which, if you think about if you're in medical debt and you're already struggling financially, raising your credit score to give the ability to borrow even more money and sink deeper into debt is not great. And these sorts of things happen all the time. Our beliefs about money have been fed to us from the time we were born, and they continue to be fed to us, and they reinforce the dependence on debt. And I think this story is a good example. I'm sure there's good behind it, but the biggest benefit that's being talked about the most is everyone's ability to borrow more money. And you've got to stop having this mindset of borrowing money all the time because that is basically being fed to you. For me, that's why I thought the way I thought is that is why I spent so much is that's just the society in the United States is spend, spend, spend. So what can you do to rewire your brain around money? Identifying your money scripts is the first step towards, you know, achieving financial freedom. And here's some actionable goals that you can start taking today. So number one of the things you can start doing is just reflect on your experiences and your family dynamics around money. What messages did you receive about money, about spending, saving? Once you start uncovering this, you can start to challenge them and start asking yourself questions. Are these beliefs really serving you? Are they even true to some degree? I found that when I really started to dive into it and started educating myself, a lot of the things I learned about money were not true at all. They were just things that we were told were true in order for to us become the good little spenders that we've become. And are these things holding you back from achieving your financial goals? Number two is you can start by just setting some small, achievable financial goals. Maybe you want to create your first budget. We call it here at Debt Free Dad, one of the things when we have people create their first budget, we call it your first crappy budget because it's not going to be perfect when you start, but you have to just start somewhere. And so maybe it's just creating a budget and that budget, that's something that aligns with your values and priorities. And then number three, super important, surrounding yourself with positive financial influences, whether it's reading books, listening to podcasts like this one. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. So you need to be a bit intentional about who you surround yourself with if you want to change your money story. And I can't stress that enough. My brother, who is the owner of Debt Free Dad, told me, I don't know, it's been a long time, 10, 12, 15 years ago, that he was going to get out of debt. And I told him he was crazy. I told him he was just like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Who does that? Nobody does that. We all have debt. And sometimes someone has to go first to change your mindset. And he went first and he's helped thousands of people, including myself. And I think when you get around other people who are winning with money, you're going to be amazed at how you think differently. Because if you're hanging around a bunch of people who say all you're going to have is debt, chances are all you're going to have is debt. So, hey, if you're looking to improve your finances in this next year, then I want to encourage you to check out our weekly newsletter, Simplify My Money, where you'll get actionable tips, stories, and helpful information to take control of your personal finances and start actually winning with your money. Thanks for joining us today, and we will see you on an upcoming episode. Take care.